scientific study of Vedas, creation of universe starting from BRAHMAM, class 49. In the last class, we have seen that atom number contains equal number of protons in the nucleus, and atom contains protons in the nucleus and equal number of electrons is revolving around the nucleus. This proton possesses positive charge and the electron possesses negative charge. Since they are equal, the atom as such is neutral. We also seen that it is required for each atom to get 8 electrons in the outermost orbit as per octet rule, and as per Veda, the Ashtadikpalaga, that is the lords of 8 points, 8 directive points on the outermost orbit, try to get 8 electrons in the outermost orbit. In almost 99% of the atom, there is less than 8 electrons in the outermost orbit, so it cannot remain as such. So it will try to combine with others to get 8 electrons in the outermost orbit. Otherwise, it cannot remain as such. So every atom has a tendency to combine with others or make arrangements with others to get 8 electrons in the outermost orbit. That is why they are combining with these atoms. As a result, different types of substances are forming. So all the things that we found in this universe is created by these atoms due to this type of combination. If we are talking, some chemical changes are taking place in our cells, there also this law is to be satisfied. That is, our body is made up of atoms. So in the food also it is made up of atoms. So if there is any chemical reaction in the cell to give the energy to speak, there some chemical reaction take place in such a way so as to satisfy 8 electrons in the outermost orbit. If we are breaking a stone, there is a bond between these atoms in the stone. So if we break it, actually we are separating these atoms. So the atoms try to create a new, rearrange itself so as to make 8 electrons in the outermost orbit. So there is an opposition to break it. See, because it will dissatisfy the, if we break a stone, if atom separates, it will lose its structure. It was in a way arranged in such a way so as to 8 electrons in the outermost orbit. If we break it, that will lose. So that will oppose it. And if it breaks, if the force breaks the stone, it will rearrange it so that all atoms possess 8 electrons in the outermost orbit. So every action taking place in this universe is related with this atomic theory. That means it should obey the octet rule, and the Ashtadikpalaga try to get 8 electrons in the outermost orbit. There are different ways to combine, and let us go through one in this. Before that, let us go to one Sukta in Rigveda, Rigveda Mandal 1, Sukta 1 and 2, 1 and 2 of Sukta 43. Let us see what it says.
ഋഗ്വേദം മണ്ഡലം 1 സൂക്തം 43 1 2 ഋഷി കണ്വൻ ദേവതാ രുദ്രൻ മിത്രൻ വരുണൻ ഛന്ദസ് ഗായത്രി അനുഷ്ടുപ്പ് കതുദ്രായ പ്രചേതസേ മീലുഹുഷ്ഠമായ തവ്യസേ ഊചേമശന്തമം ഹൃദേ.
It says this Rudra or atom is well educated. It possesses all the knowledge that is in the universe, and it is very powerful also. It creates all these things. Here it mentioned as all types of medicines. That means everything in this universe. It creates everything, every type of substances in the universe. It can produce anything in this, that any substance that is there in the universe. So, how? By using certain chemicals, Strotra means chemical equations. We can also produce certain new things with the support by using these Rudra and using certain chemical equations by which we can combine atoms and we can produce different types of substances. That is what we are doing now. So, how these different things are forming? Because atom want to get 8 electrons in the outermost orbit. There are different ways of achieving this objective. One way we can see now. Now let us take the example of hydrogen, sodium and chlorine. We know this is sodium atom. Inside there are orbits, so a number of electrons are revolving around it. We are not taking that one. In chemical reaction, only these outermost orbits are taking place in the reaction, because that outermost orbit requires 8 electrons in the outermost shell. If it is not possible, it will leave it. So in the case of sodium, only 1 electron is there in the outermost orbit. 1 electron. In the case of chlorine, there are 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So sodium requires 7. This sodium requires, that is not possible. Nobody will give it. So it only chance is to leave it. So this sodium will, I am ready to give 1 electron to another atom which requires. Here chlorine requires 1. It possesses 7. To make it 8, it requires 1. So the Ashtadikpalagar or lots of 8 points on this orbit try to get 1 electron from others. That is, if sodium is nearby, it will take it. And in this outermost orbit, there are Ashtadikpalagar or 8 lots of those points has a tendency to leave it. So it will leave the electron to this chlorine, and thus chlorine gets 8, and there is no in the sodium atom. No electron in the outermost orbit. No problem. It cannot remain less than 8. Otherwise, leave it. But these two cannot go independently, because we know in the sodium the number of electrons and proton is equal. That is why it is neutral. If there is 10 electrons in the proton in the nucleus, there must be 10 electrons in the outermost orbit. If it loses 1, then one positive electron, proton has no electron. So the atom becomes likewise. In this case, sodium also, if it leaves one electron, it possesses one extra proton in the nucleus, so it will become positive charge. When number of proton and electrons are equal, it is neutral. But when it loses one electron, one negative charge is lost, so it will become positive, and it gets one extra electron. So it will get a negative charge. Negative charge. Because this atom was neutral, because the number of proton and electron in the atom was equal. But when it gets extra one, it will possess extra electron, that is negative charge, so it will become negative charge. So there is an attraction between these two. So this will go together. It will not leave. So this sodium, chlorine combines will go together. It is not joined. It will go together because due to this attraction, that is sodium chloride, that is salt. So such types of atoms are a molecule, that is a molecule. Sodium chloride molecule. Atom combined to form molecule. A new thing is formed, salt is formed. Likewise, we can combine any atom based on this rule, based on these suktas or chemical rules, and we can join atom to create new different types of things if we satisfy Rudra, because Rudra is possesses all the knowledges that is present in this universe, because this universe itself is created due to the combination of these type of atoms, the combination of different type of atoms using different methods. One method is giving one electron to other, so it will lose one electron, it become positive, this will become negative. Such compounds are called ionic compounds that possess charge, and there is attraction between these two, and this will go together. That is one way of getting 8. Here chlorine gets 8, no extra electron in the outermost orbit, but they will form a new substance, salt, that will go together. So what all action taking place in this universe is based on this type of chemical reaction, and that chemical reaction can be divided into two. One is ionic compounds. This one gives electron freely to the other. There is another method that we can see in the, that is covalent, common coordinate bond, etc. That we can see in the next class. So by these methods, new substances are formed due to the combination of different types of atoms.